South Africa continuing to struggle to get water. If it's not infrastructure breaking down, it's vandalism. Laudium, Atteridgeville and surrounding areas in Tshwane are once again experiencing unplanned water interruptions today. Tshwane City says it's experiencing low water supply to 2 reservoirs. Well, tracking the story for us on the Media View is Mangoba Mkunu, who's joining us now. Mangoba, good afternoon. What's the latest you can tell us about these low pressure supply in water in and around Tshwane?
Indeed, Praten, what we do understand is that there was an issue on Tuesday with regards to the supply of water in some of these suburbs here on the west of Pretoria. And in fact, we are here at the Laudium Reservoir, which is one of the reservoirs that was affected yesterday, Praten, with that low pressure of water supply. And according to what we're hearing from the city is the fact that there were disruptions to the water supply in some of these areas. So we know that it's about 12 areas, which include Atteridgeville, which include Salisville, Erasmus, as well as Christo. But just to mention a few, Praten, that had problems yesterday with issues of water. But according to our understanding is that this issue has been resolved. The city saying that yesterday the Atteridgeville Reservoir was almost empty, Praten. But they're saying that that particular issue has now been resolved. They are getting the water supply back to these particular communities. But to speak further about this and perhaps to get a sense of what the situation is like now, I'm joined by Lindela Mashiko, who speaks on behalf of the city of Tshwane. Lindela, thank you for your time. There were some issues with water disruptions, particularly here in Laudium as well as Atteridgeville and surrounding communities. What's the situation like right now?
True that, Mangoba. Yesterday, both reservoirs, the one for Atteridgeville and the one just next to us, Laudium, experienced low pressure to the water supply. We have since restored water. The levels are in good condition. The percentage is satisfactory in both reservoirs. We are thankful as well to the residents, business alike, who heeded the call to save water.
What are we looking like in terms of the reservoirs? I know that, for example, the Atteridgeville reservoir was almost empty yesterday, and here at Laudium it stood at about 50%. What is the current situation like now in terms of the percentage of water that you have here?
We are content with the current situation of the water levels inside the 2 reservoirs. For Atteridgeville, we are now around 50. For Laudium, we are between 50 to 60, and we are hopeful that with time the reservoirs will pick up indeed.
And in terms of the water supply, what is it looking like? Are you expecting perhaps any more challenges going into the weekend with regards to water supply in these communities? If you're speaking of 50%, surely it should be higher than that. So are you perhaps expecting more problems, or what can you say to these communities in particular?
Mangoba, we cannot stop to emphasize the issue of using water sparingly. It's quite an unpredictable situation, as I indicated earlier on, that it was an unplanned water interruption that we experienced in these 2 important reservoirs that service the west of Pretoria. We are hopeful that as we go into the weekend, we will see some stability. We will see both reservoirs functioning at above 80. That will make us to be satisfied. We are adamant that things will move to the right direction. Residents will have water. In the event disruptions occur, we will have to arrange water tankers, which will be placed at strategic points. We will do so in conjunction with the leaders of the communities. We will do so with the councillors, because they know better where we can place such water tankers for people to get water.
And what was the problem?
We are yet to find out from the water utility, Rand Water, which supplies most of the municipalities, us included as the city of Tshwane. We are yet to receive an indication of what exactly was or has been the root cause of this water interruption.
Okay. Thank you very much. That was Lindela Mashiko, who speaks on behalf of the city of Tshwane. Of course, Pradan, he says that the situation is currently stabilizing. There is water supplies in these communities. In fact, we have visited quite a number of them this morning just to check on the situation on the ground. And Pradan, from what we saw, the water has been restored in many of these communities.
Thank you very much, Mangoba Mkunu, for the latest there on that problem that parts of Tshwane had been experiencing in the last few days. It looks like it's now been resolved. Power